After making an album such as Rust in Peace that made so many waves in the metal community and in the thrash community, one could really ask themselves, what more did Megadeth have to offer? And well, to be honest, a follow-up disc. Many times in cases where really perfect albums are made, or those top-of-the-line albums are created, many people wonder if such a deed can be replicated. It's the reason why bands that put out such impressive debuts have a lot of difficulty following it up with their second release. Now, this wasn't exactly a case such as that. This was the fourth release that Megadeth had put out, and the two before it were also harkened to be metal classics. The first by critics and fans alike, the second one, So Far So Good So What, in my eyes. And even some people would say that Killing Is My Business was a true testament to what the band had forthcoming for the metal world. But of course, Rust in Peace was a crowning achievement. So whenever Countdown to Extinction came out, expectations were through the roof. This was something where Rust in Peace took the whole entire metal community by the balls and off guard. So how in the world were they going to be able to top this guitarmony, this masterpiece, this master work? Now with Countdown to Extinction, the one thing to be noted is that there definitely was a phase shift here in Megadeth, and there was also a sound shift to something that was a little bit more of a, I don't know, not as hard, not as thrashy of an edge. The thrash was still there, do not get me wrong, but there seemed to be a lot more focus on harmony. There was a lot more focus on songwriting, and the combination of the two did not give you the same breakneck-paced songs with the same maybe real flair or flavor that you got from Rust in Peace. Basically, to go with that whole flavor ideal, consider that Rust in Peace is your favorite flavor of ice cream, or either that or one that you find to be really damn good, and Countdown to Extinction is also a good flavor of ice cream, but a different flavor, but kind of close. Almost like mint chocolate chip and pistachio, or chocolate chip and chocolate chip cookie dough. It's just kind of a different take on a similar ideal. Now, Countdown to Extinction also showed Megadeth's ability to really portray environmental awareness. It also produced a couple of singles, and it also produced their first single that really hit mainstream radio, which is of course Symphony of Destruction. Now, Foreclosure for a Dream also was a radio single. However, it didn't experience the same level of success. Symphony of Destruction you still hear on the radio to this day. Now, this is an album that is very strong as well. In fact, many metal fans, many metal practitioners love this album. In fact, some of them may actually love it more than Rust in Peace. However, that's all a matter of opinion. We're here to examine the music. The music is extremely solid, and the first thing that I will say, very first track, Skin of My Teeth, kind of gives me that whole drum intro ideal as a song such as Over the Mountain by Ozzy Osbourne. And whenever you consider what both of those names, Megadeth and Ozzy Osbourne, mean to heavy metal, that comparison is pretty darn excellent. We're talking two titans of the heavy metal industry, one of which had at this point been in the metal game for close to 30 years, and Megadeth, which was bordering on their 10-year anniversary. Now, songs such as Architecture to Regression really showed Dave's edge that you were able to see more so on albums such as So Far So Good So What. But I think you really saw the harkening back to the second and third albums of Megadeth the most on a song, Captive Honor, especially with that softer introduction. The introduction that you heard there that shifted into kind of a different idea is something that you heard a lot more on albums such as Peace Sells, with songs such as Good Morning Black Friday and My Last Words. So, hey, this is something where they were still drawing on influences from things that they had done in the past, only they were updating it for a new time, a new era, and a new album. Now, this is also an album that many people will say kind of changed the game a little bit. This is an album that kind of showed Megadeth's hand, showed where they were going to be going with their sound over the next couple of releases, almost as though they had created such a perfect thrashterpiece with an album such as Rust in Peace that it was finally time to diversify. It was finally time to do a couple of things a little bit differently and see how they could master that. And for that, you have to give them a lot of respect. Now, some fans will consider this to be the start of a slippery slope, and well, they can actually draw that assumption if they like. However, I think it's kind of unjustified. This is a band that was able to take any element of thrash that they really wanted to do battle with and make something of it. And yeah, I even made a case for Risk, which was just, well, poorly conceived, but at least it told you in advance what exactly it was. But we're not at Risk yet. We're still on Countdown to Extinction. Now, Countdown to Extinction, the song itself, actually garnered Dave Mustaine and the Boys an environmental award later on. And that's something that I find to be really interesting. They're the only metal band to receive such an award. This is an award that you would typically envision for a guy such as, oh, I don't know, Bono from U2. But it's kind of interesting that Dave and the Boys, the same guys that are writing searing narratives about people that they dislike, that write songs about Russian roulette, is in the case with My Last Words, that write Holy War is the Punishment Due based off of something that happened while the band was on tour promoting So Far So Good So What in Ireland. And they're writing a song with a lot of environmental awareness that wins an award. That just really shows the diversity of this band and really shows the different problems and the different quandaries that really, I guess, plague Dave's soul whenever he writes. The different ideas, the different things that kind of come into his brain. Whenever you also consider that Captive Honor really has a prison theme to it, and Psychotron has a animatronics theme to it, and then Ashes in Your Mouth. There's a lot of great things out there, and this is an album that's chock full of them. Now, of course, you have to also understand that Dave Mustaine's newfound sobriety with Rust in Peace had continued throughout this record as well, so there was a little bit more focus there, and a lot less distraction. This was the second album with the classic lineup as well, and that's something that would continue on for the next few albums. Now, the next album that I'm about to speak about is going to be one that some fans like, some fans don't, but I personally have a love affair for. So the next time that you guys and I meet and we talk Megadeth, be prepared for another one of those case-making style videos, because I have really a pretty good one to make for euthanasia.